Good evening, everyone. Chad Cook, one of the Operations Section Chiefs with California Incident Management Team 1. Today's our first day on the incident. Yesterday was our in-brief, and we shadowed yesterday. We got some good intelligence on what was taking place on the fire yesterday, and we took command of the fire last night. Today's been our first full working day. I'm going to walk you around the map, tell you what's going on in the south zone of the fire. Our partners on the north are here as well, and also our cooperating agencies, including our local government agencies, CAL FIRE, and our other cooperators that are here to fight this fire, as we mentioned, with everything that's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around this. I've had some questions that have come into me. Those questions, I feel that I'm going to try to talk to some of those questions early so I can answer the questions that have come in. Some things I might be coming up later with more specific questions, but I'll talk around the map, tell you what we saw today, where the actions are taking place, and let you know kind of what the strategic priorities are for us operationally on the southern side of the fire. You'll see this big yellow line that goes right through the center of here. This is our zone line that separates, as you mentioned, two operational teams that are working out here. Team 2 on the north, Team 1 on the south down here. So again, as you move down all the way down here into the Ash Mountain area, this piece of line that is backing down here into the Shepherd Saddles area has not moved in several days. There is some heat signatures that is deep in here. Today we worked aircraft on this area. We've got crews that hiked up into this section 19 area near H92 and the Sycamore Drive area that picked up some heat that was high on the hill. Again, we continue to work that. And again, when I'm talking picking up heat, this is isolated heat sources, not a steady line of fire that's moving in any direction. This is stuff that we are seeking and destroying based upon our IR flights and where we see heat or the potential for escape. So that continues all the way down into the Ash Mountain area. We do not see any real potential for this to come out of there. Again, it sat there for several days. Now we're just seeking out those heat to make sure that we can blackline this eventually here. As you move down just past this Ash Mountain area, you'll see a lot of black line that's into here. You'll see some red on the interior. Again, some islands and some pockets of heat continue to produce smoke and heat signatures in here. So we're keeping a presence of firefighters to make sure we can deal with that. And that's all the way down, all the way into the Squirrel Creek Grove that's down into here. As you move down to the Mineral King Highway or the road system down here into Drop Point 30, you're going to see a red bulbous where it came across the road system. This area in here is all offensive and direct tactics that come all the way down into the bottom. Today we inserted crews into the bottom of the river drainage and sought out any isolated heat sources and worked aircraft in this river drainage of the East Fork in this area right down here on the bottom. And again, all of our efforts right now are making sure that this does not come across the river and get established on the other side, and this is where most of our contingent of firefighters is. I want to reemphasize that because that was a question that came across as what is the overall strategy, and I want to make sure you understand that we are offensive in nature on the entire footprint of the fire. It doesn't mean that we don't take some defensive actions based upon things that are going on, but overall strategy is to suppress the fire and to put it out, so I want to make sure I cover that with you. As you move all the way across this Division Charlie, across the highway system, the Mineral King Highway system, out to the Atwell Grove, Silver City area out here, several questions have come in about what is taking place out here. I'm going to focus on this for just a second with you and talk to you that we have about 4 or 5 crews that have started in here off the highway system that are moving up towards Paradise Peak or to our Command 10 repeater location. They are using direct tactics, going right along the fire's edge, but it is slow going. That slow going is basically right through this Atwell Grove of trees all the way out up into this Paradise Peak. The reason it's slow going is the duff that is on the ground is extremely thick and it is slow going for the crews that are out there. It is low fire intensity, almost like mulch burning that's out there. High heat, low intensity at the base of the trees. So it's just taking time for the crews to move through that. Again, going with direct tactics, using water where they can and continuing that. Once they get off the road system, obviously water will become more scarce and they're going to be using just crew tactics as they can drive it up into the rocks to stop any lateral spread or easter spread of the fire. And that's going to continue. Where the fire slopped over the road system down here, this has been plumbed down into the river and crews continue to do work that's down in here. We've been working with CAL FIRE in this general area and they'll continue to use this line down here and support operations that are in here all the way down into the creek. Again, we feel a high likelihood of success of holding on to this fire where it sits right now and any further easterly spread based upon the tactics that we're employing right now. As you move up around the fire, you'll see this piece that comes out towards this redwood grove. This redwood grove that sits right out here. We've got retardant all around that. We doubled up on the retardant today. We were able to fly several missions in there with clean air. This fire is also parked. It's in an area where it has not seen any heat or any growth in several days. We're going to continue to monitor that, but it does catch everyone's eye because it's a large island of red, and that catches everybody's attention going, where's this fire going? What's happening? Is it moving? The answer is it is not moving, but we're being diligent. You'll see a large presence of us and continue to monitor it through aircraft because of the remote nature of this area, steep, inaccessible terrain to get people in and out of there. So with that, we're monitoring with aircraft, seeing what's actually, if there is any heat signatures or movements. As the next couple days, we're supposed to get some weather systems that'll move in. That'll probably help us out tomorrow afternoon up in here. But right behind that, we'll get drying weather and even winds. And so we're going to be, we're just going to be very on our guard for the entire area to make sure we don't have anything that escapes our footprint. That's basically what's going on in the whole south end of the fire. Again, our first day on the fire, a lot of intelligence gathering, a lot of stuff going on out here that is in support of all the operations that's been going on, and we're in close coordination with the North Zone. They're going to come up here and give you a briefing as well. Before I get to that, I wanted to answer one more question that came in, and it's regarding the use of retardant and the water systems that's out here. Retardant is a phosphate-based product. Basically, it's a salt or a fertilizer type. Salt reacts with ammonia. Ammonia reacts with phosphoric acid. It creates basically a byproduct of that is how we get retardant. The salt effects are almost like a fertilizer effect. We try not to use it. We try not to use it within 300 feet of waterways, and we're pretty strict with retardant usages in and around anything that has water. So that's one of the questions, what goes on. We usually do a pretty good job of tracking all our retardant and where it goes. We do try to keep it out of water systems. I'm not saying it can't get in there, but that's what ends up happening with it. So for those that are stressed and worried about the water supply in here, I can assure you we were not using any retardant down here today. We're using water only on this fuel model in here. I'm not sure if it's been used in the past, but in our short tenure here, I know we're not using retardant in that area. We're using it up high, right around this area, right up in here. So again, outside of the 300-foot buffer that we use retardant in from waterways. That was one of the questions that came up. Another question that came up, what's the likelihood of the fire spreading all the way out into Silver City? I will tell you that, again, working with our CAL FIRE partners out here at Silver City, they've done a lot of prep out in the area. They've had a community presence. We feel with the direct actions that are taking place in the Atwell Grove area that it's going to limit any spread that heads out that way. We feel high confidence that we should be able to hold it where it's at. And then a couple other questions that came in too was regarding just the overall, where most of the firefighters are working in the staffing on the southern zone of the fire. I will tell you out this way here, you're in excess of 100 firefighters working in and around the Atwell Grove. You probably have another 50 to 75 that are working at drop point 30 to 21, and another couple hundred that are spread out all the way back up to the zone break. So on this side of the fire, we're somewhere around about 800 firefighters working on the south zone. Those are support staff. Those are staff that work, so we have maps. Those are to make sure people are fed. They're logistical support teams. There's a lot more to it than just the boots on the ground that are using hand tools and water to suppress the fire. It's an overall operation that supports the bigger picture of fire suppression. So I hope I answered your questions. I'm sure more will come in, and I'm going to hand over to our partners on the north.